Welcome to the Bwel podcast, your local destination for wellness information. I'm your host, Kijana Holder, and today we're going to hear from Keston Hawkins, a talented young entrepreneur who is using neuroscience and technology to make a difference in the world.
Identifying myself, my name is Keston Hawkins, and I'm a neuroinnovator with a company called Allegori based in Trinidad and Tobago that does neuroinnovations. We basically designed innovations for science and industry using neuroscience as one of the core basis for the innovations that we make and the developments that we do. Right. So who am I is a complicated question. Not because I'm complicated, but I'm the kind of person that likes to see people happy. No, I like to see people powerful, more than happy. And they have power over themselves, they have power over their lives, and they have control. And I think that is my why for existing, and that is a big part of who I am. Right? That is the me that does not have a name. You understand? That is who I am. And all of the companies and all of the projects and all of the things I work on have to align with that why for me. It has to align with that why for me. And Allegori is an expression of that why and an expression of that who that I am.
Okay, more icebreaker question. This wasn't on the list, but I just really had to ask because your website is probably one of the most interactive and beautiful that I've seen in a while, even not just in the Caribbean, but on a whole. Designs that we use there. The website particularly is really beautiful and well laid out, well planned. I was asking if that was part of your plan, was that part of your vision, or did you just send it to somebody and they came back with it?
No, I designed it. I built it from scratch.
Seriously? No?
Yeah. So I came up with the idea, obviously, and then designed the layouts to reflect what I had in my head, and then I built the layouts in for the web.
Right. Cool.
That is actually one of my when I started first after I finished my neuroscience degree, I came back to Trinidad and I did work in interactive advertising, and I did a lot of work. I used to try to marry as best I could neuroscience with design as best I could. So that's kind of where I started off, and then I decided to kind of change my focus because I wanted to do something that I thought was more fulfilling, but I didn't realize that Allegori would have been as fulfilling as it has been. So Allegori is a neuro innovation company. What we do is we take things that are wrapped up and hidden in the neuroscience papers and books, and we make it practical for people in everyday life. We practicalize neuroscience for art, science, industry, and education. So when I say art, we have a program called Mind Art, which I'm sure we'll come to at some point later. When I say science, in some cases we do marketing research and things like that for companies, content assessments and other things like that, using neuroscience. And then we also use it in education because we have a training program for students called the Focus Clinic and sundry. So
Focus Clinic. Because I'm interested in that myself, because I knew, well, when I did TSEC last year, and not as old as I look here. Yeah.
Cool.
So I know when I was doing that, if I heard about Allegori at that time, I probably would have tried to invest in it, because all that stress and having to get yourself in that frame of mind to pursue your goals, and it's a struggle. So yeah.
So I can tell you a little bit about it. The Focus Clinic is probably our biggest program. It's probably the best seller for us. It's designed to do a few things. One of them is to improve focus, memory, both working memory, short-term memory, and also long-term memory, right? Different levels for different cases. We've had about 400 students that have gone through our program so far over the last year. Things slowed down, to a crawl because of COVID-19, but we've delivered to a lot of students, and we've had massive improvements in their grades. Of course, their mileage varies, but we've had some students that double their performance, right? Before it was like 60%, but I had a couple students that came out They were 40s and 50s students, and when they finished, they were like 90s, and not like mid to high 90s we're talking about. So we've had a lot of really awesome success stories with the Focus Clinic. We've also done work with children with autism as well.
As you spoke about that, well, this program that we're running here, the Bwel Club, it's about promoting wellness throughout the Caribbean. So health and taking care of your body, but the mental aspect as well. You mentioned working with kids with autism. What has that been like?
That has actually been really fun, to be honest. If I just term it something personally, it was enjoyable, really enjoyable, right. And we learned a lot. So our first set of clients that we got, especially as relates to education, they were autistic and ADHD students. Normally you find programs where they start off working with neurotypicals and then they try something with the others, but we did it in reverse. We worked with autistic and ADHD students, and then the stuff that we learned from them, we then applied it to neurotypical students. And that's one of the reasons why we've seen some of the really awesome results we've seen. Business-wise, most of our students are neurotypicals that come through. But we're actually making a bigger push after this COVID-19 thing blows over for autistic students, because we realize that it's a big issue for parents that have them. The parents need support, the students need support, and also they need to learn to work with what they have. And that's one of the core tenets of what we do. You work with what you have. It's not about the assessments. Of course, you can get assessments done. We don't do the assessments, but there are other companies that do, and we can use these assessments if need be. But it's about working with what you have, and the comparison isn't to other people. The comparison is always to yourself. So we want to take you from where you are to the point that you want to be as quickly as possible and as sustainably as possible.
So I saw on the website, I wasn't exactly 100% sure what was going on, but I saw some guys with wearing helmets and a lot of art. So I didn't really put the two together yet.
But mind that I'll tell you why I did it in the first place. First of all, we were using EEG. EEG is a very important part of our process. EEG is electroencephalograms. It's the same tech they use in the hospital to measure and track the patient's or the client's activity. We do that in real time. So we can track what's happening in your brain as it's happening in your brain, right? Yeah. And we were collecting all of this data. So I thought, it would be great if we can use this data to create something that is interesting, create something visual, something that's artistic. So I came up with this idea for Mind Art, and what we'll do is we'll take data from the brain and then turn it into something visual, and it was intended for people that had Alzheimer's. So we would have gatherings with the families, and then the family would have their granny or whoever just puts it on their heads, and then we'll turn the story or the what's going on in their mind as they tell the story into a piece of art that they could put and hang on their wall. That was the mission. The main reason was because we wanted to preserve the dignity of the person with Alzheimer's. Because one of the things that happens as their mental acuity and stuff starts to degrade, so does the way that some families treat them. You understand? Because they tend to start to forget who they are and those kinds of things. And some families not prepared to handle that. So one of the things we were going to do was, when we create the piece, it was a reflection of some memory that was relevant to the family. So whenever they go past it or they look at it, they know that this represents when their grandmother or when their mother remembered them. So it's not that the person's dignity gets lost because they're losing their memories. So that was real important for us when we started off. And then I posted it on Facebook and amongst my friends, and I just had a swath of people messaging me because they want to do it for them, for their family, for their what's this other thing they said? Anniversaries, all kinds. People asked for it for. So it became an event after that. People actually booked us out for Christmas Day, for this to be a gift to their families. Yeah, it was really, really amazing. I did not do much more of it because it wasn't generating the revenue necessary to sustain it, because it was going to be its own division of the company, and because I couldn't sustain it, I had to stop doing it. But it's certainly something that we are interested in doing, but probably some different ways. One of them would be textiles. It's possible to use the same principles for creating garments, also for creating other kinds of things. Yeah.
All right, sorry, I have to go back to my list here because I had my question in my head, just went out. Whoosh. Yeah. All right, cool. So any other future plans for the company?
Yeah, actually, because of COVID-19, we've kind of been shoehorned into doing stuff in Trinidad, but we have partners in a few other islands, a few other countries, in Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and we actually have a relationship with a company in Morocco. We can't explore that right now because of the situation here, but we kind of franchising some of our methods and our business out in other countries. That's one thing that we're doing, with trusted partners, of course. But what we're trying to focus on for the next 6 months or so is on employee assistance programs. That is supporting companies, because one of the big challenges that we found is that a lot of the companies in Trinidad and other places, they use regular talk therapy and they go to psychologists and therapists for that. But the challenge is that's not measurable. It's very difficult to measure it, to see the quality of service that they're getting. And then also, it's not as results focused as ours. So in ours, it's heavily results focused because we measure everything. We measure down to body temperature and everything when necessary. So we want to bring that kind of tech and that kind of expertise to the employee assistance program space. So we want to partner with companies, and also with companies that already serve in this space and want to get a partner. Then that's probably what we're going to do. Outside of that, concerning the focus clinic, we want to extend more of our work towards autistic students, primarily for a few main reasons. One of them is the classes now have to be one-on-one until we are sure that everything's safe. And autistic students, their sessions are almost always one-on-ones. So redirecting our focus there would probably be useful. And then lastly, preparing students for exams that are coming up, because they have exams coming up in sometime after September. So the exams moved from the middle of the year to the end of September, which is totally different from what it was before. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of exam anxiety, stress, and things like that might be connected to this change. So those are the places that I expect us to be working on in the short, medium, and long term.
Right. Okay, this is something I usually like people to think about beforehand, and I should have sent it to you, but I didn't. But like, is there anything that you want to tell people as yourself, Keston, or the owner of Allegori?
Yeah, I can say a couple of things. So personally, this is me answering the question as me, and then I can answer the question as the business. So for me, I am interested in connecting with people that have similar goals. The interests are in developing Trinidad in terms of the mental health space, but also in terms of technology. People that want sustainable development of these things. So when I say sustainable development, I mean it's important for us to have innovations that can continue. So we have a lot of nonprofits, and I've been in touch with some of them. They don't consider that part of it. So that's misaligned from what I would want to do, because it has to have the financial backing in order for it to run and to operate. I've tried running companies, nonprofits without that, and they've all failed. Right, they've all failed. So if I had to say something as a thought, I think there needs to be more people entering this space because there's a big need. There needs to be more education in this space as well. And I think the stigma around mental health is actually starting to erode. I believe that strongly, and I think with time there'll be more interest and impetus to access those kinds of services in Trinidad. So I believe that we should prepare for it. On a business front, I think if you want to reach out to us to get access to our services, you can through the website, which you mentioned was beautifully made. Thank you. And also through the Facebook page and Instagram pages. All of those places you can get access to us. It's Allegori, that's ALLEGORI.org. That's allegory.org. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is at Allegori, same spelling with an underscore at the end. And on Facebook, it's Allegori Ltd. So I'm sure that will be written in some piece of script so you can get it from they can get it from you.
Yeah.
Outside of that, strategic partnerships for the business is something that is valuable to us. But again, with people that have those same goals, sustainably improving performance and power for people in our country and our region.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Follow the Bwel Club on Facebook and Instagram for more wellness information and inspiring stories.